we've got a pretty good website now, and we just need to activate the navigation elements so that we can actually go to other pages on our website. At the moment we just have one static page. So we're going to look at how we can create new HTML pages, how we can link between those pages, and how we can style those links themselves. So this is the document that we have at the moment. We have these links, but when you click on them they open up just the Google page. We want to change that so they open up one of our own pages. Now, the fact that we've structured our HTML in the way that we have with an external style sheet makes it really easy to duplicate our HTML page and just change the content that's within it. So I'm going to go to File and New, Control S to save, and make sure that you're in the correct folder. Especially for you, you need to make sure you're on your H drive, and I'm going to create a new page, and I'm going to call it about.html. Make sure you have that HTML extension, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so now I'm going to just actually go back to my index.html and think about which elements of this I need to duplicate on every page. So if we look at what we have here, we want to have the same title, we want to have the same navigation, we want to have the same footer. It's only this bit in the middle here that we want to get rid of, or that we want to change. And the way that we set up our HTML to start with, we have our head at the top, that's going to stay the same, our body, that covers everything, and if we look here at the header, that includes the navigation elements, that's going to stay the same. Then we get to this section tag here, and that's where the main content of our web page is, and the bit that we're probably not going to want to keep. But I'm going to copy everything that we've got there and go into my about.html page and paste it in. Now I'm going to go back to my index.html page, because when you use your live preview it automatically goes to the index page, and at the moment that'll look exactly the same as our about page. So we need to change a few things in our links that we have up here. Specifically, we're going to change the destination. So if I delete out in the about section here, if you look in your list items, you have the one that goes to the about page. If I delete out the destination there and I start typing equals after my href, now because I made that about page in the correct folder, you can see it comes up here, about.html. I can click on that, and I actually don't want that to open in an external tab because it's within our website. So if it's an external link, you probably want to open in a new tab, but if it's within your website, you probably don't want this target equals blank. So I'm going to delete that out. I'll do the same for the rest of the items that I have here. I'm also going to add in another link at the top, because we need to have some way to go back to the home page. So if I click in this line, Control D to duplicate, and I'm going to change this to home. And I'll change this reference up here so that it's index.html in this case. Okay, I'm not going to worry about updating these two links in the middle because we're actually not going to use them for this website. But I need to, of course, make sure I have that same navigation system on this page as well. So if I go back here and I copy the nav section over to my about page, and I'll select that nav section and press Ctrl V to paste over the top. So now what this means is when we load up either of those two pages, the navigation is going to be consistent and we can switch between the two. So I'll press Ctrl Alt S to save, go back to my index page, and I'll activate my live preview that I've got here. And now let's try these links out. So let's click on the about page, and you can see up here that we've gone to about.html. It still looks the same at the moment, and I can click on my home page and it goes back to index.html. So you can test out that that's working appropriately. Now if we have a look at our about page, remember we want to keep all of this top section the same. We have the link to the same CSS sheet up here, so all of those rules we applied to all of these navigation and heading elements will stay the same. The only bit that we want to change is this content that's inside the section, so I'm going to just select everything there that's inside the section and delete it. So now if you have a look at what we've got left, we've got the footer section down the bottom, we've got our navigation section here, and our header section. This is essentially our HTML skeleton that we'll use consistently throughout. We might tweak little bits of it here and there, but you can essentially copy and paste this between all of your different pages. So the content I'm going to add in here, I'm just going to copy from Wikipedia. So I'll just copy that text there, and I'll put it into a set of p tags within that section. Control S to save, and let's go back to our live preview, and you can see that has worked as we'd expect. So it's been cut down to the same width. We've got our 150% line spacing, we've got the correct font, correct font size, and that's all looking good. Now I can switch to my home page. I've got my home page there, and I can switch to my about page, and that works fine. Make sure you can get yours working like this. If you want, you can also add in the other two links that we have there. I haven't bothered to create them, but you can do it in exactly the same way by adding a new file, saving it with an appropriate name. You'll need to update these link references as well, but that's your challenge before you go on to the next video. See if you can make 2 more pages and link them in the same way. You don't need to worry about putting too much content on there for now. Just make some placeholder text or put in a couple of images and see if you can get a fully functional 4-page website working. So just a quick recap of what we looked at in this video. We've looked at how we can copy HTML code to quickly replicate pages, and it's a really appropriate way and an efficient way to ensure you have consistent styling due to that external CSS sheet that we wrote, and that we have the same key components, in this case our header, our navigation, and our footer. We've also looked at modifying the A tags, our anchor tags, to create an effective navigation system. So for our internal links, we're not opening a new tab, so we remove that target blank attribute, and for any external links you'd still want to leave that in there.